What is up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation. All right. I want to start here. I've been watching several things, and just to see what I'm seeing, I just want to share my thoughts on it, and I would love to know what you guys think about it. I don't talk about these people often, but I recently did a conversation talking about this Netta and Charles situation, and how I feel that social media platforms, especially Facebook, I don't know what it is about Facebook. I have a Facebook account, but I'm rarely on there. It's so much that goes on that I just don't really know about it. And there are times when I have clients, especially one of my client friends, she'll say, "Girl, did you see this on Facebook?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't, because I'm not on there. Tell me what happened." And it's usually about like local news or something like that, but I'm just not there to see it. Apparently, Facebook is the place where a lot of drama happens. And so Facebook also is a place that they really want to keep you on their platform. So they will suppress YouTube videos. They will suppress things that are on another social media platform that they feel like, or they are in competition with. So they don't like you to share stuff like that. They want everything to be on their platform. So I feel like they prop up people like the msnettas and the messy drama in the African American community. They love it. And of course, I get it. If the people did not engage, if the people didn't share it, if the people, like, they propped up Andrew Caldwell, Mr. I am delivered. I'm not gay no more. And his 15 minutes, maybe they are up, I don't know, but I believe that people are still following him in a large amount and watching the ridiculousness of it all, and he makes money from that. Now, I don't fault anyone for making money and doing things in their lives so that they can live a better life than they were able to live prior to that. I have no issue with that. But what I do have an issue with is when it's the buffoonery that gets the most views, that gets propped up, that gets platformed. So I talked about that because I feel like Facebook, for the most part, is doing a disservice when they allow stuff like this, and they're paying people like the Miss Netta and Charles's, 5 figures a month in money to have people like that be showcased, and those who already think that people that have the same skin tone as them are in the same category, and we're not. It's ridiculous. But why I wanted to talk about this real quick is when Miss Netta was going off on the followers, which the followers, the most part, we know that they're following because it is a sideshow. It is a train wreck. It's something to laugh at. It's something to get your mind off of what you're going through. So it's like, oh my God, what is this? I get that. But Ms. Netta's going off on black women and saying things about black women, and that I'm going to say he would never want to be a black woman because of this, that, and the other. And he would want to be more like a white woman. And I was like, seriously? White women don't follow you. And if they do see your content, they're not commenting on it. They may share it with someone else and send a private comment to that person laughing at you. They see you as the circus freak. So for that person that calls themselves Miss Netta, who I believe his government name is Joe, to say the things about black women and how black women are stupid and all these other things that the Miss Netta personality was saying, I was like, fool, black women are the reason why you're making the amount of money that you're making. Because I can guarantee you, for the most part, the people that follow are black women and gay men. I believe if the stats were in front of us, that's what we would see. It's definitely not a whole lot of straight men watching that. And if there are any Caucasians that are watching that stuff, it's because it just showed up in their feed somehow, or somebody, who had it show up in their feed, shared it with another Caucasian person, and they're laughing at you. They think it's funny. And you're not funny. You're not a representation of women. Stop. with the foolishness of thinking that you can go off on black women and it's not going to cost you. So what I've been seeing is that bookings and things like that they've been having, they've been getting canceled. And I'm like, more power to the people who are standing up to say, no, what, I'm not going to take this line down. I was a supporter of yours and I'm no longer. I never supported that foolishness, but hey, it's, freedom of choice, right? So apparently they've been getting cancellations of bookings that they've been having. And my thought when I was hearing that is, who's showing up to these bookings? And I guarantee you the faces that they would see would be black women and gay men, maybe some gay women. But I highly doubt that there were white people showing up for the foolishness. I highly doubt that. All right. And as for the bookings that they were having, I couldn't see that it would be a whole lot of when it comes to people even coming out, those that do show up, those that do buy the tickets. So to hear that they've been getting canceled because of the things that the Netta character said about black women, I'm like, great. I'm all for it. I'm not going to play any clips of the Netta character speaking because it's just really irrelevant. I'm sure if you haven't seen it already, you can find it. It's on all of those big Instagram blogs. So I digress. Let me know what you think about that. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was, and I was hesitant about even talking about this, but I am going to just share my thoughts on it. All right. So the vlogger that goes by the name Storm Monroe was previously a mentee to Tasha K. And honestly, I actually used to watch his channel before he linked up with Tasha K. I didn't watch it faithfully. It was something when I saw that he linked up with Tasha K that was like, I don't know about this. And I tried to give it that old college try of supporting. I continue to support Tasha K, but when it came to his content, it was just something about it that just wasn't genuine to me. And I felt like he was trying to be Tasha K in a way, maybe the male version. And I just was not feeling the authenticity. But also, I'll never forget I talked about it with one of my client friends. We were discussing the interview when Tasha K did the interview with T.S. Madison and Storm Monroe. And Storm asked T.S. Madison about the ding-a-ling. And we were both like, no straight man is going to ask another person that has one of those about it. They don't do that. Straight men don't do that. But he has never come out to say that he is not gay. He's never come out to say he's gay, but he said he's not gay. But, sometimes just the gaydar. And then also when Tasha K interviewed Funky Dineva along with Storm Monroe in the wine cellar, Funky Dineva thought that Storm was gay, and he was surprised when Storm said that he was not gay. He was surprised when Storm said he was not gay. I will never forget that. I remember it like yesterday. But that's neither here nor there. I only wanted to briefly share my thoughts on this because Storm Monroe did a live video, and apparently the video got struck. I wouldn't have played the clips even if I was able to. But he was going off on Tasha K. And this is not the first time, because I did a reaction to the conversation when Larry Reid, and Armand Wiggins linked up in his garage, somewhere in Storm Monroe's house or whatever, to discuss some things. And I mainly did the reaction based on Larry Reid trying to refute the allegations about him touching a male. And I use the word touching, but it was more than touching. It was insertion, all right? And sucking and all that other stuff. It was mainly from the perspective of Larry Reid trying to deny. That's where I did the reaction from. But Storm, he was saying a number of things about Tasha K in that interview. And even then, I was just like, this is distasteful, because you may have had a falling out with this person, but to try to just destroy this woman's character, talk about her family, talk about her beliefs, talk about her body, it was a new level of low for me. And even if he and she had a falling out at one point in time, I'm assuming that they were friends enough, friends enough for him to be put up in her home. I don't know many just employers or contractors that are going to subcontract you and also allow you to come and stay in their home for a period of time. I don't know many people like that. Maybe there are a few out there, but the person that he is disparaging, that he called the N-word, talking about her body, talking about all the things that he said, it has just been a new level of low for me. I just am not here for it. And he could try to dispute it or whatever, but if it wasn't for Tasha K, he would not be where he's at. He would not have gotten to, I should say, where he is in terms of the subscribers and the followers. And I do believe that his numbers grew more after leaving Tasha K, because Tasha K does have a lot of people that just don't like her. Whether it's just because of her style, whether it's because of the Cardi B lawsuit, whether it's because of her voice, or whatever it is, people don't like. Some people, they just don't like her because they don't like her. And so they follow out of hate, which I also do believe, this is my personal opinion, a lot of the following that Armand Wiggins has achieved over the time is because a lot of the people that don't like her like the fact that he has been out loud about not liking her. So his numbers have grown with that because he's done a lot of content talking about her and putting her name, not just putting her name in the title, didn't always have to put the name in the title, but people knew who he was talking about, and that helped him. He could take it or leave it, but it is what it is. But this isn't about Armand, this is about Storm. And Storm actually was Tasha K's mentee for a lengthy period of time, in my personal opinion. And so now that she's cut the strings and he's doing these types of things, I just am like, this takes me back to where I feel like he got maybe a head start, sort of a start. I don't know if he had another start prior to him linking up with Tommy Sotomayor, but if you are familiar with Tommy Sotomayor, all he does is talk negatively about black women. All he does is talk negatively about black women, disgustingly about black women. And at one point in time, Storm Monroe, he was linked up with Tommy Sotomayor. So to go from being linked up with Tommy Sotomayor to go connect with the type of women that Tommy Sotomayor was disparaging, pretty much is disparaging all of the time, I definitely felt like it was an opportunist move. It definitely was an opportunist move, and now the real feelings are coming out because he is no longer connected to her. And he can say how he really feels out loud, because I can guarantee you he felt that way all the time when he was with her, but he was covering it up in the public eye, doing the content that he was doing, and then wants to blame Tasha K for him responding to Armand or going after Armand and, saying, well, she pit me up against you and whatever. Whether those things are true or not, I don't know. I wasn't there. But what I will say is he has choice. I don't believe that she put a weapon to his head and say, do it or else. I don't believe that anything was done to make him do anything that he chose to do. Ultimately, it's a choice. Even if you work on somebody's job, if the employer asks you to do something that you feel is against what you believe, you have the right to say no. Now, if you say, well, if I didn't do it, I was going to get fired or whatever you might, say, ultimately, still, it's up to you to choose to do the right thing or to not do the right thing. It's a choice. Now, I'm not trying to equate what he was alleging Tasha K, suggested or made him do, or whatever words he wanted to use when Armand and Storm finally started speaking. Because I was honestly in agreement with Armand with a lot of things that he was saying about Storm when those two were not in a good place. But then when they connected and Larry Reid and those other two did the video together, I did feel that phrase, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Storm had a connection to Tasha K. Opportunist. Larry Reid had a connection to Tasha K. Opportunist. Armand, for whatever period of time, had a connection to Tasha K. Take it in a negative or a positive way, opportunist. It was about opportunity. It was about growth. It was about, building your YouTube channel and all these other things. All of it opportunist. And then so when all three of these people are no longer in a good place with Tasha K, to come together like that, enemy of my enemy is my friend, is the only phrase that I could think of and the only phrase that I heard when I saw what they call the ops linking up. That's what people say. Oh, the ops are linking up to come against this common quote unquote enemy. But when I see all of these men doing these things, to say all of these things about a woman and a black woman, for that matter. And I'm not trying to make it about race, but it is true. Black women are the most unprotected, and that's just a fact. So I love the fact that this strong black woman, she can be strong on her own, but I love the fact that she is married. She's been married to her husband for a long time. And I do believe that they have a really great relationship, and they don't allow the things that people say on social media and do, when she is just doing what she does, and this is her business. Her business is wine, gossip, and comedy. And people want to come for her personal relationship and talk about her family and her children. That's just a new level of low. And I will never be in agreement with anyone doing things like that. Some people feel like, oh, you talk about this or you talk about that, I'm coming for everything. Well, that's a character flaw, and that's something that people should get addressed. But a lot of people don't feel like they have any issues, so they're not going to do anything about it. They're just going to justify their actions because of what someone else said or did. Well, I'm doing this because, what about you? What about your actions? What about your character? So for Storm to say the things that he was saying about Tasha K, and it's like, how long has it been since you both have disconnected? You hung up the phone, keep that phone on that hook. Don't pick it back up to call again. Don't be like Bernadine from the movie Waiting to Exhale, when she wanted to call up her husband's, or then, at the time husband, but became ex-husband, wanted to call up his mistress. Says, I got some shit I want to take. I want to spit off. I want to get off my chest. And her friend came and took the phone and hung it up and said, this is stupid. Leave it alone. There's so many other topics and things that you could be talking about, but to be talking about this woman that you were once connected to and in such a terrible way, I just feel is a new level of low. And I will never be in agreement with that. I will never try to justify, and for those that hate Tasha K, they're going to come up with a reason for it to be okay. Well, she did this and she said that. Well, you know what? I haven't heard her say anything about Storm Monroe recently. I haven't. So it's like, where is this coming from? Because it was always there. And that's the point of me even talking about this. So that's why I wanted to share my thoughts on that. And finally, I'm going to make this extremely short because Sean Davy Wade said it all. And I'm just going to put the links to his videos in the description box. He read Storm Monroe's draws off, okay? He left no crumbs on the table when it came to everything that he felt about Storm Monroe. And I'm going to say, honestly, I was here for it, because even Sean Davy Wade at one point was not in a place with Tasha K where they were cordial. I was actually here for it. And then when he addressed the things, and I guess Storm Monroe decided to talk about him and say some things about him and his family, then Sean Davy Wade really went off, okay? And he just completely read Storm all the way up and down and all around. And all I could do is laugh because I could feel it. You know, he calls him Stormisha. Listen, I was in 100% agreement with Sean with the things that he was saying, because it needed to be said. He spoke a lot about Storm and him being connected now to Armand Wiggins. He talked about him being connected to Larry Reed. These are things that I had mentioned before. He talked about how he was when he was with Tasha K, and now, you know, he's no longer with her, and how he is not. Like, everything that he was saying was the truth. Whether people enjoyed the delivery of it or whatever, that's up to them personally, but I absolutely agree with everything that Sean said. And I don't need to say a whole lot more about it, because he said everything that needed to be said. And I'm going to put the links to his videos in the description box, because he went in. He went in all the way. I think he might have given Storm Monroe a pap smear too. I don't know. I don't know. Like, he really went in. Like, he went in with the forceps and scraped and scraped and scraped. Like, I'm saying, he really went in. So listen, you can let me know what you think about the Miss Netta and Charles situation getting canceled, her thoughts on black women, and how she would rather be a white woman than a black woman. Let me know what you think about Storm and how he has been going off on Tasha K recently. And let me know what you think if you listen to Sean Davy Way's assertion on Storm Monroe and the Tasha K situation. You can let me know your thoughts about all of that in the comments section. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.